Why should bother what others say? See, friends, therefore, whenever we are talking about the woman and we as a woman or woman as a person in the society, our approach should be very clear. We do not work in this wrong areas called as freedom for women. Women are never bound. And as regard isolated instances which take place everywhere in the society, they happen anywhere, anyway. See? And when this is not understood, now let us take the negative side of it. We all have read and heard also that many women take the advantage of the law and they use this law which is in their favor for encashing their personal vendetta or for their personal benefit at the cost of anything. 2-3 examples I'll give you. This happened because of the wrong laws in the society. This happened in Australia. I was in Cobbs Harbour, very beautiful place. I go there every year for about 5-6 days. So when I went, my host there is doctor and his wife is also doctor. So when I was there was one white lady came. She was doing cleaning and all that. So I asked my doctor Amma, I said, Amma, how much you pay to this servant, maid servant? Swamiji, don't ask. She earns more than we both put together. I said, my God, then I'll come and do that job. I said, how come? I'll tell you her story. Then she told me her story. She is a mother of 4 children. She has one husband. And one day he climbed the roof for repairs. And the ladder slipped. And he fell down and broke his hand. Next day she filed divorce. Because he is no more useful. Filed divorce. In that country, after divorce, man has to pack up the backpack and go. Not the woman. Now that man is on the road. What is his fault? That he is no more as much useful as he was earlier. And what government does? Single mother family, she gets a special allowance. Plus per child, she gets a special allowance. And she works like this in different houses. And there she collects all the money in cash. So no tax. And as a result, she is having a total freedom now. She can go anywhere, whatever she likes to do. Now tell me, is it called as a freedom for the woman? See, freedom is from our wrong notions. Everybody is not, there are good and bad men and women in this world. But that doesn't mean it should be legally done in such a manner that every time it is the man, poor fellow suffers. See, this was in Australia. In India, I'll tell you 2-3 cases. One case happened in Bombay. One Gujarati lady, she used to come for my satsang. Very sweet, very calm and quiet lady. Her son wanted to get married to one girl, and very educated, and from a so-called good family. She was a medical practitioner, gynecologist or something like that, earning a lot. And this Gujarati lady told her son, don't get married to that girl. Somehow I don't feel comfortable with her. Don't get married. No, mom, I had to get married with her and with none. Finally got married. Within 6 months, got conceived. She being gynecologist got aborted, filed an FIR with the police. The mother-in-law tied me with the belt and the husband kicked me. Abortion took place and it is killing the feticide, and therefore this sweet lady, for none of her fault, she was behind bars. Non-bailable warrant. And then to compromise, I want all your property in my name. And when they investigated her case, She had done it earlier 2, 3 times. And every time she has earned, the last was 23 lakhs. Then I will withdraw the case. Now tell me, do we call this as a freedom approach? Now why this is possible to be done? Because the law is blind. They are not ready and don't want to investigate. So it is here that we should take up a cause as women. Let us not support the wrong approaches which are used under the disguise of freedom and protection of the woman. No. Protection, why women? Protection should be for everyone. Every citizen has a right to be protected by the government. Therefore, when we talk about women in terms of as a separate entity, and as if the woman has nothing to do with the man, we are talking only a biased thinking. Therefore, when Nayarji asked me, I said, let us put this equation. Woman is not without man. That is not the meaning of the woman. See? And therefore, when we decide that our life is incomplete without the other partner. See, in our Ramayana, the story comes. Now, don't go into the authenticity of the story. What is the moral of the story that we have to learn? See, when the moral of the story is not learned properly, what happens? I'll tell you this first. And then I'll tell you the Ramayana story. And then you will know what has happened to you in your understanding. So, I can give you my sweater. I thought you are younger than me, therefore you will be able to stand the cold. So, I was telling about understanding, how we cannot understand which is beyond our comprehension. There was a fish from the sea, and he happened to go to a well. And in that well, there was a frog. So when the frog saw a new visitor, asked, hey, where from you are? Yeah, I am from sea. Sea? What is sea? Sea is a collection of waters. How much waters? Frog asked, with his small hand. This much? The fish cannot move his head because he doesn't have a neck. So he moved his tail. No. Then, this much? The frog did his two hands like this much water. Fish said, no. This much? No. The frog got angry. Then he took a leap. This much water? He said, no. He got so wild. Then from one straight away diagonally, this much? The fish said, no. How much? Come, let's go. Then they went to the sea. After having gone to the sea, now it is the time of the fish to ask a question. How much is this? So what is the moral of the story? A well in the frog can never understand beyond that. He is lost in that small little thinking, is it not? This is the moral of the story. After I told this, one wise-looking man asked me this question. Underline the word, wise-looking man. He asked me the question, Swamiji, how can a frog and a fish talk? I said, when you and me can talk. Do you mean that I am a frog? I said, no, frog I am, you are a fish. So, the moral of the story we have to understand. In the same manner, in Ramayana, after Sitaji has disappeared in the earth, then after Rama lived for many years, not once, twice, 3, 4, 5 years, no. He ruled according to Valmiki Ramayana for 11,000 years without wife, without getting married again. So, when he lived like that, every time he has to do some yajna karma, he has to make an idol of Sita in gold and then invoke the mother, wife in that idol, and then only he could do the karma. What does it mean? Man remains incomplete without the wife. So where she is disrespected in the society? See, the story goes, it is because of this. The next life, when the same Rama took the avatar as Krishna, all those statues, 16,100, they were already married to him. He has invoked them. Where will they go? Therefore, they all were his wives in the next life. This is how the whole story goes. Now, the moral of the story is, the man is incomplete without the wife or the woman, and vice versa. See? Now, where is the problem? But if you see many families, many houses, this is the only thing. He said like that, I said like that. I said, Are Ram, 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 Ram. See? When I was new in my profession, now I am seasoned. Now nothing disturbs me. So when I was new in my profession, like, when you are new in your medical profession, when some patient comes, you are very serious. Acha, let me see your pulse. And like a dumb, we see the pulse. But when the same doctor becomes seasoned and professional, he doesn't see the pulse, he sees the purse. Because now he is professional, same way. So earlier, when I used to, people used to come and ask, Swamiji, he said like that, she said like, I used to try to console them and make them. But now I have come to one conclusion, that both of them make a fool of me. So I don't get into that. One young girl from Australia has to write me. Finally, I wrote her, when you come to India, you meet me, or when I am in Australia, you meet me there. I cannot reply your emails. They are like a Ramayana coming every time. So don't write hereafter. Her only question is to be, I have done like that, he has done like that. Now tell me, who's right? Am I right or he is right? Finally, she caught hold of me in India when she came. And she said, Swamiji, I am Manju, do you remember you? I used to write you, I said, yes, I remember. Don't explain again. I have heard. No, I have by-hearted your story. Now tell me, who is right? I said, now my approach is very simple. हर सवाल का जवाब ही सवाल हो. एक सवाल तुम करो, एक सवाल मैं करूं. So you ask me a question. Who is right? I'll ask you a question. Who is in front of me? You or your husband? You. Yes. If I have got an ounce of wisdom, what I will do? I'll protect myself. So I will say you are right. If I say he is right, you will kill me. Therefore, I will say that you are right. But by telling you are right, are you dissolving the problem or you are complicating the problem? So stop thinking in this manner, whether man is right or woman is right. No. Try to solve the problem, try to dissolve the problem, rather than evaluating whether I am right or he is right. No, that is not the way. See, when we take this approach, then there is no question of freedom or bondage. It is all in our mind. We only imagine that we are bound. See, one day in a youth camp, one girl asked me this question. Swamiji, I am always thinking, suppose you are born next life, where will you like to be born? I said, I am not going to be born again. No. For example, suppose, what will you ask God? I said, okay, I'll ask God, please give me a birth in a Marwadi family in Bombay. He said, why so specific? I said, because before marriage, baap ka paisa. After marriage, pati ka paisa. Kharcho. No problem of earning. See, intelligent, wise girls never work. They make the husband work for them. And those who are dumb, they go and work all the time for others. See? Therefore, friends, it is our own understanding whether we are inferior or we are superior. Instead of wasting our time and energy in this field, let us bring to our own cognition. We have to live in this world with competition, and for that, we have to discover our own potentialities. And once you discover your potentiality, whichever is that, get into that. You will be appreciated rather than comparing and complaining. No. And you will see those who complain, they really deserve nothing. See? Because they want everything to be falling in their favor, and it never happens. There is one boy, I never reply his SMS. He sends me in a day at least 20-25 SMS. And finally he sent me one SMS. Swamiji, will I be ever successful in my life? What does it indicate? Completely frustrated, disgusted, and his only thing is he has complaints about everything in this world, including me, that I don't reply his SMS. See, he is something like, frustrated, sitting. Am I a garbage can, or you go on throwing the things? So first, once or twice, I tried to explain him, but then I found it was my mistake that I encouraged him. From that moment, I stopped totally. See? Therefore, to discover real freedom is to discover our own potentiality in whichever field you have. And with that potentiality, grow boldly and respectfully, not as a man, but as a woman. See? When, in the earlier days, when the dramas used to be done, that time the man's and the woman's role were both played by the man only. Those days the ladies were not coming on the stage. That was not considered good. Now it is the other way around. If they don't go on the stage, it is not considered good. Oh, outdated. Unless you walk a catwalk, you are born as a human being but want to walk a catwalk. I don't know why. I don't know why they call it catwalk. Maybe because cats walk like that. Next time you watch a cat, you see a cat walks first step like this, second in front of that, the third in front of that. And this is how on the catwalk they walk like that. So that the whole Pisa Tower goes on rocking and rocking. And that is, they feel they have got a freedom. The whole world is watching them, and that is called as a freedom. See, friends. Therefore, instead of getting lost in this savvy kind of thing, see, it is not meant for cultured people. It is not meant. Let us live in the dignity of a human being. And for that, we have to have this clear picture that we are neither against men nor against women. Man is not suppressing woman, woman is not torturing man. They are not two independent entities. Like a bullock cart cannot go only with one wheel. We require both of them. In the same manner, we have to take life in its totality. When the life is taken in its totality, then we understand the real meaning of freedom that the woman can have in their life. Here, this topic we'll take it tomorrow. Here itself, we had many years before, maybe 5-6 years before, one Mrs. Kumar, she was honored. And she was the first chairperson she was the first chairperson who headed a bank at the national level. And I was invited here by Nayarji, I don't know why. So I came. And she was not giving a shawl and everything. Then she, because she was the main topic, so she spoke about her career and everything. But people are not interested in their career. Question answer. First question. How could you manage both the fronts, home and also your profession? How it was possible? Because it is very difficult for a professional lady to manage both the fronts. How it was done? She was so cute. She said, I have followed strict advice given by my mother when I got married. And she said, I always kept myself one step behind my husband. There was no competition between two of us. There was always the cooperation. So whenever there was a need, he was taking care of the whole family, giving bath to the children, taking them to the school or shopping or whatever. And when it was required, I was doing. There was never a competition between two of us. And I have taken the lead according to my mother's advice, one step always behind my husband. By that I never lagged behind. Because of that alone I could progress in life. See what a mature understanding it is. With this understanding if we live, then you will see that there is nothing like man versus woman. That is not the platform our Indian culture teaches. We have to live together in a creative manner. Then only life is fulfilled. So, the second topic, tomorrow we'll talk about the completeness of life. How it can be brought under the proper understanding of this formula or this equation. We'll have a tea break, and after you take tea, then we'll do some fun. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru. Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. When we serve somebody, so what do we mean by serving somebody? That depends on what is more important for us from service point of view. Like, one mother used to come to me. She had a small baby. Now the baby is very grown up. So when she was small, her father used to do that, so she came and told, Swamiji, aapki seva karu? I said, yes, do whatever you like. So because her father used to press my feet, so that small baby with the frog-size hands, so small, she will come and I am sitting like this, she will come and start pressing my feet, just touching like this. Come up to here. Then give me other food. Swamiji, I had done the seva of your feet. Now what else? What is paining? I said hands. So she'll do. Over. Now what is more paining? I said throat. So for her, seva means only pressing or touching. Our mothers in India, for them, seva means what? Feed or feed. When I am in so many houses, that is my daily tragedy. This happened in Idaho, Boise, in USA. I stay there with a South Indian family from Andhra. So I told, those days I used to eat chapati. From that time I stopped eating chapati also. So I said, Mama, I take only 2 chapatis. Don't force me, okay? Okay, Swamiji. Instead of making chapatis on that chakla and belna, she removed that chakla, and on the table she made a chapata, a huge one, and 2 of them. You told me 2, I made only 2. Eat. I said, Amma, do you think I am a dabba? Bhar ke rakh do. So for them, seva means feeding. See? For other people, seva means their own understanding of seva. Thus, we take into account only a part of it, not complete. See? In the same manner, when we talk about woman or man, are we talking about only part of the life or the total life? See? Today, one of the biggest things which we come across is this. This professionalism has gone so much in the women's head, not all, but many of them. And because of that, they are lonely, solitude, frustrated, and dejected, and then getting lost and destroying themselves. See? I'll give about these 2-3 examples which I am myself talking about. There is one girl from a very good family, IT, software engineer, and some friend also same together. And then they decided to be together. And after some time, non-stop arguments on every issue. Every issue they have to argue. There is no need. And issues like what? When I went with them for a walk, this is what they have told me. When we are going, suppose we are in a garden and there was a plant. So the girl said, I think this is dahlia. He said, no, it's not dahlia. It is the other plant. And whether it is this particular species or not, on that issue in the garden, it became a big issue. How does it matter what is the plant? The plant is laughing at Dumbo. How does it matter what I am? Why you are becoming miserable? Friends, please learn one important thing for having the life in its totality. Never argue on any issue. Argumentation doesn't solve any problem. See, this is one of the biggest problems which all of us face. On every issue there is an argument. There is no need. See, this is how it has helped me in my life. Because we being, in a spiritual profession, people always look at us with suspicion, not with respect, suspicion. So, they will be asking questions which are controversial. Because they want masala, mirch masala. See, recently my interview has come in a Hindu paper, I think, in South. When I went, somebody interviewed me. So there also some questions were asked, which will be controversial. So I very clearly told, look here, I deal with the non-controversial issues. So what is the non-controversial issue? Oh, these days there is a global warming going on. See, one way there is a global warming and therefore there is the economic melting down. See how it is going on and all that. Now these issues do not make any impact, neither pap, nor punya, nor sin, nor merit. Don't get involved in any arguments with anybody on earth. So one such place they ask in a public gathering, Swamiji, what is your opinion about the Ram Janmabhoomi? So I told them, look here, there are many issues about which I don't have opinion. For example, You, instead of getting married and living happily, why you are running like a reporter from here to there? And what do you get out of it? On this issue, I have no opinion. See? Because it is not worth. So there are many issues in this world on which I don't have opinion. This is one of the issues I have no opinion on. There is no point in getting lost into any controversy in life. When you get involved in any controversy, you lose your peace of mind. And a person who loses his or her peace of mind, can we call that person as a wise one? See? A person who gets miserable and disturbed because of others, he is the fool of the highest order. See, you are all here, I am talking. And you will not change, I have no doubt about it. So, because you don't change and I keep on struggling, see, I have been talking, although I am not well, but you people don't change. Why should I become miserable? You suffer, I enjoy. See, friends, this is very important. And in this manner, when we are living our life, we have to take our life in its totality. But if we take only one part, I believe only in professionalism. And these professional oriented ladies or girls, you see their personal life. Their life is so disgusting. You may not be knowing, many people come to us and speak to us in confidence. I won't tell who speaks what, but in general, the mind I can tell you. They are totally lonely and hungry for love. Hungry. Because the fulfillment of human being is only in remaining as a counter to dispense love, not an encounter to get love. See, friends, many of you are mothers. When your children were small, they didn't know anything about what is the mummy and what is daddy and all that. That time you are giving love to the child. The child was not giving you anything in return except dirty linens. Is it not? That your experience of loving your children and now your experience of looking at the same Rakshasas have become Ravanas and torture you day and night. Now see the difference? So the real joy in life is in giving the love and not in receiving the love. See? And in this manner, when we look at our life, we have to take our life in its totality. Never take only one part and imagine, no, I have decided to be professional. Then you suffer professionally. See, friends. So, there is another example I'll give you. There is one girl, recently I was staying with them in Kerala. She is such a bright girl. I know her when she was class 6 or 7. And she was very fond of me, now also. So she will come and she will be all the time, Swamiji, I want to eat from your plate. So I used to feed her, like that small childhood onwards. Now she is married. And she did her BCom, MCom and MBA and finance, and she was in some international finance company earning more than something like 20-25 lakhs per annum, and a young girl of about 24. And when their alliance was fixed through the horoscope and all that, they believe in traditional thing. And the boy said, I have no problem about anything, but we have got sufficient industry, we have got sufficient money, we are not short of money. I am looking for a wife who will be a wife and not as a worker somewhere else. So choice is yours. I don't force that you should not work. Now, if you are interested about you, please work. But then you can't be with me, I can't be with you. Let it be very clear. And that girl, such a genius. She said, I am not here to work like a dumb. When you are there to earn, I am there to spend. And she is so happy. Now her own genius, do you think it is wasted? Her real genius is looking at the life in its totality. So when I asked her, I said, hey, you are earning so much, you just give up the job. What do you feel? She said, no, Swami, money has never interested me. What interested me is peace of mind, good people around. And I have seen their family. My father known them many years. Such a loving family. And when I was staying with them, you will not know who is a daughter-in-law, you will not know who is a mother-in-law, you will not know who is a father-in-law, you will not know who is a son. It is like, a gathering in a cafe, shop. Everybody is cheerful and happy. Everybody is doing their job perfectly well. That fulfillment is the point to be looked for if we look at life. And friends, the beauty of any house is maintained never by the man, but by the woman. See, any house you take, one or two examples I'll give you. There is one Amma I know, very nice. As a person, no comparison, extremely good. But as a housewife, horrible. Shoes are lying somewhere, clothes are lying somewhere, kitchen is horrible, the utensils are waiting there. When somebody will come for my uddhar, they are never washed. And the cups, when you take them, you don't know whether they are outside in or inside out, like that. And she is not aware that their whole house is a dirty mess. See, now the children who are grown up, they are grown up in that environment. See, and therefore they are never taught what is the meaning of cleanliness. See, and then that man, he came and he said, Swamiji, I have given up. I said, very good, you should give up ego also. He said, I have given up everything, only life I am maintaining. Then why? Then he told me his story. He said, you have seen my wife and children. I have no complaint against them. Only one thing I cannot take, but I have to take, and that is dirtiness. Now it is the lady's responsibility. In that there is nothing like man and woman. See? And then he took me to his room. He says, Swamiji, see. And he has shown the comb full of hair. See, this is what she does. Now, how many times should I tell her? It doesn't require any money. It is a question of clean habit.